Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to completely detail a car. There's lots of misconception on how this is done. People overcomplicate it. I've been detailing cars since '96. My first job was actually detailing cars for a small car lot here in Ogden, Utah. Now I'm a shop owner, primarily been a mechanic majority of my life, and so this has allowed me to clean a lot of cars. I've detailed a lot of engines, buffed and waxed a lot of cars, detailed a lot of interiors, and I've came up with a few methods that I found to make it very effective, very fast, and get the best results. So I'm going to show you guys how to take a car from this to this. Okay, so as far as detailing your car, I recommend doing this twice a year, at least. When I was younger, I used to detail my car once a month. I would go through this exact process monthly with my vehicle. Here in Utah, I found it best to do at least twice a year. So I like to do it in the spring and the fall. So springtime, you're removing a lot of that grime from the winter. We get a lot of salt and stuff on our roads, and there's a lot of paint contaminants on the paint that need to get cleaned and removed. And following this process is going to clean a lot of that off, and it's going to keep your clear coat and your paint looking really shiny, looking good for years to come. Then you kind of go through the summer months, and that protectant is worn off by then. And so fall time, I recommend doing it again to put a little bit more protectant on it for the winter again. So again, twice a year is really all you need to do with this. Some of the benefits of getting a complete detail done like this is added value to the car. If you're getting ready to sell your car, you can often pull another $1,000 out of your car if it looks quite a bit better. Or just retaining the value, you're going to have less rust, you're going to have less oxidation, things are going to continue to look newer if you do this process. And the other is it just plain out makes you happier. As you're walking up to your car and it looks shiny and it looks nice, and you get in it and it smells good and everything's clean and nice, you just get overall enjoyment and happiness out of life. So I totally recommend doing this, whether you do it yourself, whether you hire somebody. All right, so let's just do a little bit of a walk around. This is my daughter's machine. There's a few things to point out that we're going to try to improve. You can see we've got these little bit of scratches and smudge marks on here. I'm going to try to remove that with this process. Looking at the interior, the floor mats and stuff are really dirty. I'm not sure what the heck went on in here, but this center console has got like mud or food or something inside there. So typical stuff. Floor mats are just stained. We've got a lot of mud and stuff in the wheel wells, pretty normal stuff. Of course, my daughter's got her protein shakes and water bottles and beef jerky and iced coffees and, you know, the typical stuff. I noticed this stuff, it looks like some lotion or something stuck into the leather that we're gonna try to remove. These feel real hard and kind of plasticky. This Sequoia's got like 240,000 miles on it, so it's been a good machine. It's been definitely used over the years. The other thing here is these headlights here are real foggy. I'm gonna try to clean these up, make those look nice and shiny again. Take a little look underneath the hood here. You know, I mean, this engine's actually not that bad. I've cleaned lots of engines. The battery doesn't look too hot there. Really, these terminal ends and stuff, cable ends should be replaced, but we'll clean that up a bit, clean the whole engine bay. I'll show you a safe process of cleaning the engine so you don't have to worry about hurting anything. So on a more modern vehicle, what you need to be careful with when you get wet is stuff like these electronics, like in here inside this fuse box. This isn't really ideal to get real wet. You don't want a lot of water in there, or any kind of computer module connector. Sometimes getting water in the connector damage the connections, damage the computers and modules. So just be mindful of that. Don't get those extremely wet. The other is these things are called ignition coils. When I've had people bring me their car after they've detailed their engine and they've gotten these really wet, sometimes it'll misfire and damage those coils. So just be mindful to not get those too wet. Other than that, you can really spray down everything. I just recommend not spraying water in one spot for a really extended period of time. with high pressure, because then you're forcing water, a lot of water, into places that it might not want to be. And so if you're just kind of splashing it with water, that's kind of the recommended effect to do that. All right, so obviously the first thing you want to start with is getting all the garbage out of the car. After you do that, I recommend taking out the floor mats, and then from there we go directly to washing the outside of the car, and specifically washing the engine first. Okay guys, in all the years that I've been washing engines, I've literally washed thousands of engines. Only one of them didn't start after I washed it, and it's probably been over 20 years ago, like 25 years ago. It was my first detailing job, and my boss came to me after I went and said, "Hey man, I just washed this engine, now it won't start." He walks over and he's like, "Hey, did you leave the engine running while you washed it?" I was like, "No, I just started washing it." He's like, "Always leave them running." It's a tip that I've learned from him, is that typically you don't run into many problems as long as you leave the engine running. On that one, what had happened is I got the distributor too wet. This was back in the 90s when cars had distributors on them. We got that really wet when the engine wasn't running. It filled with water, and then it was causing it to where it wouldn't get spark and the engine wouldn't run. So what we did, my boss took the cap off of the distributor cap, he dried that out with air, and then it went ahead and fired right up. So I've had a few customers bring me their cars over the years. They've gotten the computers too wet. They've gotten the ignition coils too wet. So just be careful in those areas. Okay, when it comes to the products that you need, man, you really only need dish soap and a towel to wash the outside of the car. People get all fancy and they're like, "I need to have the best chemical guys, whatever cleaner, that some magic pill." We all want a magic pill to make us lose weight, and the reality is you got to eat less calories to lose weight and work out. Washing a car isn't any different. You use soap, you wash it. It's that simple. But I've got a couple products that do help me with this. I've got a car wash. I don't really care which one you use. I've got a whatever the heck this thing, a little wash pad, another little wash pad. I find that these are helpful, especially for brushing tires or inner fender wells or the engine bay. I'll brush the area with this. A couple helpful things to have is these foam cannons. You can put some of that soap in there and get fancy and foam it all up. But honestly, dish soap and a rag, you get the similar results. It's starting to freaking rain on me. Storm's coming in, so that's just great. All right, so you're just gonna start with water. Just rinse it. All you're doing here is spraying off the dirt. Broke my own rule. Didn't even start the car. I also like to spray the front of the condenser and the radiator. Get any bugs and stuff out of there. Your engine will actually thank you later by cooling better. Quick, what it looks like after you've rinsed it. Now you can see the top of that battery doesn't have a lot of that gunk and stuff on there. We'll continue to kind of go through and polish things up, but this was just after getting it wet. Yeah, so I've got this little foam gun here. Normally I wouldn't have this long extension on the end of it, but it's freaking raining, it's cold. Let's spray some soap. Woo. Okay, now we take our brushes, just brush all the areas, scrub the hood. This chemical guy's stuff smells pretty good. Now just take it and rinse it off. One thing to keep in mind, you never want to get an engine super wet if the engine's really hot. I'd bring the camera out here, but it's pretty rainy. Had to go get a jacket. So now all you need to do is rinse down the entire vehicle. Get, the made mud and dirt chunks off so you're not scratching the paint when you go to wash it with soap. So just take some water with a hose, pressure washer, whatever. You can even run your car through the car wash. That's fine too. Sometimes those pressure washer places you can go to if you don't have one of these, perfect. All right, so I've got all the dirt rinsed off. Now you just go ahead and soak it with some soap. I recommend using this on the tires and of course your wheels. Get in here in the inner fender liners and use it on this area, running boards. Take your wash sponge, You're removing a lot of the contaminants from the paint by using the sponge. A lot of people would just rinse the soap off, but you're actually not removing a lot of the contaminants by doing that. Go ahead and give things a rinse. One thing that I like to do is just take and lightly rinse the door jambs with a little bit of water. I mean, you got to be careful here not to get too much inside, but you can spray a fair amount of pressure on there. I take my soapy sponge, just kind of wipe that area a little bit. If you're not comfortable with getting your interior wet, don't do it. You can see, especially in the back hatch area, it's quite dirty. Okay guys, when it comes to cleaning floor mats, this is step one. This is the absolute best way I've ever found to clean floor mats. Once you've sprayed them down with the pressure washer, take a fabric cleaner like this from Chemical Guys, really any kind of fabric cleaner. This is basically shampooing the carpets. So what you're going to do is just spray this on the stains. You can either take a carpet brush like this and scrub the stain, which is just fine, or you can take a drill attachment like this. This is much easier. Now I'm getting on to vacuuming the floor mats. Now, basically what you're wanting to do, we got these floor mats really wet, obviously washing them and scrubbing them down. Now you've got to get all that water out of there, as much of the water as possible. Okay, so I've got the floor mats all dried up. I personally like to leave them in the shop to dry overnight rather than put them in the car. That keeps it from smelling kind of musty and weird. Super day to detail a car, I guess, huh? Look at that rain. Dang, look at this sweet Honda. Big deals. Okay, so even if you go to an automatic car wash and use the air dryer, I would recommend hand drying it rather than using the air dryer. And before it completely dries, go ahead and dry it with a microfiber cloth, because this is actually going to remove a lot of the contaminants in the drying process. And then before you're done drying, make sure you take that same cloth and wipe out the door jambs really well. Believe it or not, a clean door jamb really makes a big difference when you're getting in and out of the car, and just the overall cleanliness of the way the car feels. All right, so already the car's feeling and looking a lot cleaner. However, we're not anywhere near done yet. We've got a lot more to do to this exterior to get it looking even better. All right, at this point, we've washed the engine bay. We've completely washed the exterior of the car. You've got a couple choices here. You could start polishing and detailing the outside of the car, or you could do what I normally do, and I start working on the inside. I go through and I vacuum the car essentially twice. So the first time, I'm just vacuuming the heck out of it. I'm getting all the stuff underneath the seats. I'm getting stuff out of the center console areas. I'm going along the edges. I'm just vacuuming out inside the doors here. Vacuum vents, vacuum everything. So basically I'm vacuuming from the front to the back of the car. I'm not worried about any stains at this point. That gets done at the second vacuum cycle. Okay guys, now we're in the stages of cleaning the interior. You're gonna take a cleaner. This is a cleaner protectant, and you just spray the heck out of the door with this cleaner, wipe it down, and then blow out all the crevices and the cracks, getting out all the dirt. Scrub brush, this is a very soft bristle brush to scrub, you know, like the armrest area, to get all the little leather pieces there. There's kind of dirt, oil, and grime just down into that. This will help clean that out of there. Okay, now you take your protectant or dressing, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and spray the door pretty good with this stuff. And then use your separate dressing rag. You don't want cleaner on this rag, you just want the dressing. And then same thing with compressed air. All right, so there we got a nice clean door panel with some protectant on it. Looks 10 times better. All the little crevices are all cleaned out. That switch looks nice and clean. Okay, so I've got that door done. Essentially what you do is go through the entire car, every piece of plastic, from top to bottom, all the way around your door jambs, all these pieces of plastic, all the switches, everything gets completely cleaned in that process of the 2 steps. You put the cleaner and then the protectant. You use compressed air. Like down in these switches here, they get all grimy, or they get built up with gunk and stuff gets down in there. The best thing to clean that out is that compressed air. You do need to be careful. You should definitely wear eye protectant, and you should definitely wear ear protection, because you can damage your eardrums with compressed air. The other thing you got to be careful with is compressed air can damage a switch or damage something. So just be careful, be cautious with it. If you think that you're potentially going to damage something with the compressed air, you're going to put too much pressure on an expensive part in the interior, you should definitely buy some of these brushes here, because this allows you to get down in and clean those areas out as well. So, and if you don't have a compressor, this is a great safe method to go in there and clean it. It just takes longer. Once you're experienced and comfortable with the compressed air, it's honestly no big deal. Okay, so the next step I like to do is I start to take apart some of the interior pieces that are super dirty, that's easier to clean outside of the car. Okay, so what you do on something like this is you typically use a flat-headed screwdriver, sometimes a panel popper like this, and essentially you just pry up under this piece right here to pop it up, and then you can use your hand to just pull it out of place. Now, you definitely don't want to wash those switches. Those are electrical switches. These are actually all gummed up with pop, and I might need to replace them. But you want to actually take those switches out. So these things just kind of pop out of here. Obviously, you got to disconnect them from the backside, which I've already done there. Okay, so now the next couple things that are going to come out of the car is obviously this thing here. It's got a bunch of crap stuck up in it. Carpet brush, put it in the sink, clean the heck out of it. Just little flat-headed screwdriver here. I'm gonna work at this little spot right here to get this out. Okay, yeah, this is coming up pretty easy. Sometimes something like this will get that off of there. Before we put a bunch of cleaner and we start cleaning it with compressed air, I'm gonna just see if I can get that out of there a little bit. Sometimes you can even use a razor knife. You just gotta be really careful not to scratch the interior with the knife. So just be careful, and then take the shop vac and just vacuum that up. Now it's time to apply our cleaner solution. Spray it in everywhere. Take your cleaning rag and just start wiping everything down. Now take your compressed air. All right, before we put these back in the car, of course I've washed them in the sink. I'm gonna do the same method, the 2-part method here. We'll take the cleaner, wipe them down real good, spray them with the protectant. They're ready to go back in the car. All right, guys, things are cleaning up super nicely. This process works very well for this whole thing back here. And then just wipe away any excess cleaner and dirt, and bam, doesn't that look like 10 times better? It's also going to be protected, so it's going to last longer. Those seals on the door are going to be conditioned and seal up better and last longer. I got a little bit of a late start on this. I planned on getting up early, and yeah, it's getting pretty late. So we're probably gonna have to do a day 2 on this bad boy. You've got a cleaner specifically for leather. It's pH balanced. You spray the heck out of the seat with that first, and then you basically just take and apply a leather conditioner to it. So spray the heck out of the seat with some cleaner, then take your brush and just brush the heck out of the seat. You can also use some compressed air to blow out some of the cracks. This is working really well on that stain of crap that I had stuck down in the seat. The compressed air is getting that right out of there. Okay, now take your conditioner and draw a couple lines on there. Take your applicator pad and just rub this in really good. This is a conditioner, makes the leather feel nice and soft. Okay, now that looks nice and conditioned. That stain is actually out of the seat. It's got out of all the little holes in there, and just overall looks way better than it did before. Okay, it's day 2. Excited to get back at it. Yeah, this is a lot of freaking work. If you find a good detailer, pay them, because this is a lot of work. This is generally why I hire somebody to do it. However, it is tough to find someone that does a good job because realistically, I mean, there's a couple things. There's technique, right, that people don't always have, but it's usually just the time and willingness to go through and put that extra effort into it to get that extra little bit that I'm always looking for with a detail. And so it's hard to find someone, and so I like to do these occasionally to get them done, especially like this one where it hasn't been done in years. I'm gonna go through and do this, and then I'll probably just pay someone to maintain it from there. Here's where I'm at. So I've got to clean the carpet still. I'm not a fan of getting carpet super wet. Unless the carpet's really compacted, I recommend just spotting it with the cleaner, scrubbing it, vacuuming it out. So I'm at that point where I've got to clean the glass with a glass cleaner. I don't recommend a dashing glass cleaner, just an actual glass cleaner. Go through, clean all the interior of the glass, and then I'll go through and clean the carpet. All right guys, there you have it. You don't have to get the carpet super wet. You go through and follow that process, get a really great result. Just do that on every inch of the carpet. All right guys, so I've got the interior super clean and it's looking awesome. Now I'm just going through to start polishing the outside. So the first thing I do is kind of identify anything that needs special attention. I'm gonna show you a couple things that I'm gonna do before I start waxing and polishing. Okay, so I've got that crease there. I'm gonna polish that up so it looks a little bit better. Just kind of go around, look at the car completely and see if there's anything that needs special attention first. So you can see that little scuff there. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time, see if I can't get that out. I've got the Ken Gar fuse cars there on there that's been there a long time. Obviously I've got the license plate off on the back. These Sequoias are super common to build up rust and stuff. You could see that rust that's starting to develop in there. These will actually rust out and they can be a nightmare to get the license plate screws out. So I like to spray a little WD-40 in there and actually soak the screws in WD-40. Got a little rust build up there on that wheel. Obviously the headlights really need some work, so we'll polish those. I'm gonna paint that. I'm gonna take that little battery hold down off and just throw some black paint on it. The other thing I like to do is put a little paint on this hitch area. That's looking a little rusty. Probably remove this faded sticker off the glass. Take these little razor blade scrapers. Put a little glass cleaner on it like that. Okay, so when it comes to removing things like this, you've got a couple options, but typically what I'll do is just take a basic cleaner wax, and if this isn't aggressive enough, which I don't think this is.
Out the mouth. Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe, very important.
Or you can get one of these kits. This is a super quick scratch eraser kit from Meguiar's. It comes with some scratch remover compound along with a little buffing wheel to put into your drill and a little microfiber cloth. So what you do is you just take and put some of this scratch remover on the area. Grab your drill. And that's coming right off. Okay, now that little dent with that crease and the scratch is a lot less noticeable. Okay, so you can see there's little rust spots all in the paint. This is like all over the paint on this thing. So I've got some here in the door. I've got little spots here. I'm gonna try just using the cleaner wax over here, the Meguiar's cleaning wax, and that scratch kit over here and just see what kind of difference we get out of this. Okay, so you can see this side I've done with the drill attachment. This side I've done just with the hand wax. There's still quite a few rust spots on the side I've done with the basic cleaner wax. Okay, so what I've done here is just kind of tape the bumper off so that I can spray around this hitch. I want to get some of this rust that's built up in here and kind of running down and just kind of clean that area off. So I'm going to take some just general cleaner and spray the area first. Yeah, that's pretty bad under there. There's lots of little rust freckles all in the back of this paint, so I'll spend a little bit of time cleaning that up with the drill buffer. Let's see how that does on this old King Garf logo stain that's on the paint. Okay, so you can see there's lots of buffing compound just kind of all over the place. We don't need to worry about making it too clean because we're going to wax the entire car, but you can see you've got buffing splatter on the window and stuff like that. That's fine. That's why I leave the glass on the outside for last, because you're going to get stuff on the glass that you're going to need to clean. And so we clean the exterior of the glass as one of the last steps that we do. Put a little product on the areas that need attention. Okay guys, by far the best method for restoring headlights is the 3M kit. I'll put a link in the description below. I've also got another video kind of going over a little bit more in depth in what that is. But basically first, what you do is you sand the headlight with a 500 grit sandpaper. You're removing a lot of the oxidation and the yellowing. Now you're gonna sand it with a 3000 grit. You get this a little bit wet. Spray the headlight again with water. Now basically what you've done there is you've sanded away the oxidation and the yellowing. Okay, so now you just take some of the rubbing compound, put it on the applicator pad, and just kind of slowly turn the drill on to kind of disperse some of the compound around the headlight. That'll reduce some of the splatter. So you don't want this pad to ever run dry as you're doing the polishing. Now at this point, you can either wax it like we're going to. I'm gonna wax, obviously the entire car, or you can apply a protectant to it. I recommend the protectant. All right, so we're getting closer to being on the home stretch here. Now what we've got to do is just wax the entire vehicle. I've tried every type of wax product there is out there. I always come back to this basic cleaner wax because it's super easy. You can apply it to headlights, you can apply it to chrome, you can apply it to wheels. You can even wax your windows with this stuff. It's basically just kind of an all-purpose cleaner wax that I really like. Now, there's lots of different methods. You could do ceramic coating. There's lots of other waxes and stuff that you could apply. You could put a cleaner like this on it and an additional polish to give it even a deeper gloss to it. But in this case, all we're gonna do is apply this cleaner wax. But hey, I'm always interested in what you guys think, so go ahead and put the comments below your favorite method or product to do a wax coating. Okay, so this process is pretty much just like the interior. You use the cleaner on it first, and then you use the dressing or the shine to put on it after. So basically just spray the plastic areas, anything that's black pretty much, go ahead and spray it with the cleaner. Use the 2-rag method, 1 rag to clean. Use your compressed air. Get everything cleaned before you apply the dressing or the protectant. Now I recommend doing this while the wax is actually drying a bit on the paint. So I've left the entire vehicle covered in wax right now. The reason for that is a lot of times when you're spraying this dressing in the engine area, you'll actually get it on the side of the paint after you've waxed it, and it looks really bad because it'll be splattery. Okay, once you feel like you've got it cleaned, go ahead and be pretty liberal with this shine stuff. Don't make it too greasy for us mechanics that when we get in here, we're cussing you. And just try to wipe this stuff down as best as you can on everything. And then go through and blow the excess out. Okay, so before you take the wax prodding off the paint and your wheels and everything, apply your dressings to all the trim areas. You could spray these areas real liberally with the dressing, give it a good wipe. If you sprayed this after you took the wax off, you're gonna get little splots of that dressing on the paint. It doesn't look good. I'm applying this tire shine outside because if I do it in the shop, it makes the shop floor really greasy. Go ahead and spray this in the inner fender wells as well. Go ahead and wipe down your mud flaps really good with the protectant as well. This is a UV protectant. It'll help kind of condition the plastics and the rubbers on the exterior of the car. All right, guys, so I still have the wax on the car, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and put the dressings on basically anything that is plastic or rubber on the exterior of the car. Okay, just one final step before you take the wax off. Go ahead and clean the windows using the 2-rag method. There's just something about really clean windows that makes driving your vehicle like 10 times better when your windows are clean. Okay guys, I'm excited, ready to wipe all this wax off, and you always want to do it with 2 clean rags. This wax comes off pretty easy even after being on there for quite some time, you know, detailing the engine, detailing the outside, cleaning the windows. It's what I like about this product. You can leave it on, put all your dressings on it, clean your windows, and it's not too hard to get off later. Make sure you take your rag like this and just kind of put it inside the cracks. Get any of those wax, get that wax out of all the little cracks. Before in this spot, we had that little scratch. I still have the dent obviously, but got that smudge off there. There was a bunch of little rust spots in there that have now been removed. Go ahead and get the wax off all the chrome. Got your chrome handles. Go through and kind of look at it a little bit on the side. That way, especially this white paint, super hard to see the wax. Okay, now it's time for the wheels. Let's go ahead and wipe off all the wax. Sometimes your wheels are gonna need some extra work. You can buy those drill attachments with a little polish ball on them. I think Mother's makes one, and you can buy some actual wheel polish. That's really effective at cleaning wheels. These aren't bad enough to where all I wanted to do is just kind of put a light coat of wax on them, obviously wash them first. On these final stages, you can go through and kind of touch up the carpet, touch up the dash with a dressing, touch up your windows. Now that you got the outside clean, you can see the inside a little bit better. Touch up your seats. This is a pretty cool little quick detailer for leather, anything leather. This is a great little product to just kind of hit things real fast. One kind of common area that you typically get a little bit messed up is just these areas here. So I'll go through and just kind of touch those up again. Just make sure I've got everything nice and clean. Okay guys, for this thing being like 14 years old and 240,000 miles, it's like brand new in here. Here's a financial tip for you. If you're thinking about trading in your vehicle, get it completely detailed first. You'll probably love the one you have and avoid you from having to pay some heavy interest.